Hello, I am Peyton, and this is a short presentation on the Haiku operating system. So, the Haiku operating system didn't start as Haiku, it started as BOS, which was the precursor to Haiku. It was developed throughout mostly the 1990s, and it was eventually discontinued in 2001. It failed due to Microsoft's market dominance at the time. So, Haiku's early history, it started as OpenBOS. In 2001, it was created as an open source version of what was recently continued BOS in 2001. The name was changed to Haiku in 2004, and throughout the entirety of the 2000s so far, it has had vast development improvements. Now, to the current history of Haiku, it is currently still being worked on. The most recent version was released in September 2024, and that is Beta 5. Unfortunately, it is still in its beta version. It is not fully released yet, and it is still widely unknown due to other dominant operating systems such as Windows and Linux. So, why use Haiku instead of one of those more popular operating systems like Windows or Linux? Well, Haiku has lower hardware requirements compared to Windows or Linux. It runs a lot easier on limited hardware due to there being less overhead. Linux has a lot of different distributions that can make the overhead quite resource consuming, and Windows has a lot of systems that run in the background that do the same thing. Haiku also has a simplified user experience, so it has a consistent user interface that doesn't have multiple implementations or distributions like Linux does, and it doesn't have constant UI updates. A lot of people complained about the update from Windows 10 to Windows 11 that caused the UI to be all different, and Haiku doesn't have that. It's been the same since it released. Haiku is also optimized for multimedia usage, being its low resource requirements. It's built for low latency and a quick response time or low response time, and it makes it ideal for things like listening to audio or streaming multimedia videos. It is also quicker than other operating systems due to the lower hardware requirements and the simplified environment. It runs much faster than things like Linux or Windows. So, these are reasons to not use Haiku, as it sounds too good to be true. It has limited software availability. It lacks frequently used software such as Adobe programs like Photoshop or Premiere Pro. It also doesn't have compatibility for Microsoft Office, which is a big one. It doesn't work with Excel or Word or PowerPoint, and it doesn't work with most games, including Steam games. It is also hard for Haiku to be compatible with newer hardware. Windows and Linux operating systems have drivers that work with newer hardware, and Haiku may take a long time to adapt to new hardware as opposed to more popular operating systems. This was the case for a long time with 64-bit architecture before they finally made it compatible. And again, Haiku is not a finished product. It is still in development, and working with it can sometimes be a frustrating experience. So, to give a little demonstration of Haiku, I have my Oracle VirtualBox machine running a Haiku distribution right now. And you can see this is the user interface. We have our hard disk, which is our storage, and we have some demos in here that we can bring up. We can play things like Sudoku or a simple matching game. And of course, as all operating systems have to have, we do have access to the web via Web Positive. And you can see if I look up something like youtube.com, then it will load up and I will be able to see, say I want to search a video. It runs a little bit slow because it is running from a virtual machine, but in practice with the actual operating system running at its full resource usage, it would be theoretically faster at running multimedia than things like Windows or Linux due to the smaller overhead. So that is the Haiku operating system. Thank you.